What is up, everybody? It's your boy Bobby from Bobby's Breakdowns coming at you with another video, another movie review. This one is going to be my review, spoiler review, of the new movie that just came out about a month ago called Weapons. It's a horror movie, psychological horror, thriller, and it was kind of wild, I'm not gonna lie to you. But we'll get into that here in a minute. And yeah, Weapons. Like I said, I'm going to be spoiling it, so if you haven't seen it, sign off, watch the movie, come back to this review, I'll still be here, and yeah, with that being said, let's dive right in. So right off the bat, we jump 2 years into the future. We meet Julia Garner's character. Julia Garner is kind of blowing up right now. She's kind of all over the place, and that's pretty cool. From her early days of Ozark, I liked her a lot, so it's cool to see her gaining fame. Her character's name is Justine Candy. She's a teacher at a local school, and then we find out one kid every night at 2:17 a.m. gets up, runs out of the house, and just disappears into the night. Nobody knows where these kids go, nobody can find them, and they just never come back. And the whole town is like on edge, rightfully so. They want answers, and they want to know what's next. They think Justine's involved. So a cool part about this movie is they break it down into chapters, kind of like a book. So we're going to chapter Justine right now. She speaks at the town hall meeting. Like I said, everyone thinks she's in on it because she's a teacher, but she doesn't really have anything to do with it. Then we meet the principal, Marcus Wong from the MCU. A lot of MCU characters in this movie. And we also meet Josh Brolin, who plays the character Archer. Justine is getting some random calls saying she's going to get attacked, and she keeps looking out her window. People keep knocking on her door, but nobody's there. And then in the morning, she wakes up and she sees the word witch spray painted on her car. So the people in town are not happy with her, to say the least. We then meet Paul, played by Alden Ehrenreich. He's from Oppenheimer, I know that. He's clearly digging Justine, but the one problem is he's married. They meet at a bar, things happen, and they spend the night together. So the next day, Justine tries to talk to this student, Alex, about what's going on. She thinks something's going on there, but she's not sure what, and she follows him home. A little creepy for a teacher to do that, but it's a movie. Hey. The principal, Marcus, was like, please leave him alone. He's like, I can't defend this anymore. But she still does it. And when she gets to the house, it's kind of not boarded up, but newspapers are covering the windows. He walks in the house. Justine kind of looks in, and she sees two people sitting on the couch just watching a static screen, not moving. Paul's wife finds out about Justine and him and runs into her at the liquor store and just pours alcohol all over her. I thought this was like a weird dream or whatever, but no, that's very much real. And then when Justine gets back, she goes to sleep. She has a dream about seeing Alex dead in her ceiling. So it's clearly getting to Justine. Justine tries to talk to Alex again, but Alex just runs off. Justine ends up getting drunk and passing out in her car, and in probably one of the funniest scenes in the movie at first. You just see this person walk up, get in Justine's car, cut some of her hair, and then just leave. It was like, okay. Comes into effect later, so we'll get there. And that ends chapter Justine. On to chapter Archer. We find out Archer's son was one of the kids that ran off and hasn't returned, Matthew. Archer thinks Justine knows something because of her past. Justine has been fired from a few schools for doing some inappropriate things, not crazily inappropriate, with students. Then we see Archer having a bad dream, chasing his son, but he can't find him. Like, he sees him run off, he chases him, but then the kid just disappears. While Archer is kind of going crazy, we have a really weird moment where there's a gun in the sky and it says 2:17, the time the kids disappear. And Archer follows Matthew and asks where he is until he finds Matthew dead, and that wakes him up from another nightmare. So it's kind of crazy. Archer then runs into a character, a local guy, and it's Justin Long. I was like, okay. I'm like, what? Their kid disappeared too, so they're trying to backtrack. The mother really doesn't want to help him out at first, but Justin Long's like, please come in, Okay. So then we go to the next scene. Archer kind of like ambushes Justine at the liquor store, but doesn't really do anything crazy. But then we just see Marcus power walk over with blood coming out of his eyes, and he goes crazy, and he's trying to kill Justine. Bloody face, crazy eyes, and then Archer's even like, wait a minute, what are you doing, dude? So Archer has to fight him off, and next we go to chapter Paul, and all these stories cross over at one point or another. I really do like that, because I'm like, oh, I see it from his point of view, I see it from her point of view, okay. And you see some of the same scenes, but it works. So during this scene, we see Paul tackle a guy named James, who was played by Austin Abrams, the only original cast member left from the original cast. And I'm glad this dude stuck around, because he was awesome. So he asks James is arresting him because he thinks he's breaking in somewhere. He asks him if he has anything that's going to stick him, and he says no, but of course James has a needle on him, and it sticks Paul. And Paul gets furious and just TKOs him. But then Paul realizes his camera is on, his body cam. And Paul wakes him up. He's like, hey, buddy, you can go. Like, we're even. It's fine. I was like, oh, boy. So he gets home, and his wife knows that him and Justine had a thing. And it's kind of weird. It's kind of awkward, so we don't know what's going on there. Like I said, I thought that was a dream, so who knows what happens there. So Paul tells James, like, we're good. I don't want to see you doing anything again. I don't want to see you again. That doesn't last for long, because Paul sees James heading to the police station. Now, Paul thinks James is reporting him, but we'll get to that in a minute. And Paul gets irate. Paul goes after him. And we see James. We're on to chapter James now, by the way. But we see James, clearly a drug addict, trying to get into any car he can. James breaks into the house and sees the two people from earlier, Alex's house. They aren't even alive. He's trying to figure out what is happening, because he's trying to rob the place. But then he sees the people aren't moving or reacting to what he's doing, and he's like, okay. So he just keeps robbing the place like nothing happened. James goes down to the basement where all the kids are, and he's just like, what? And they turn around and look at him, and while he's trying to rob the place even more, the two bodies that weren't moving upstairs, the adults, get up and chase him out. James gets chased by Paul. Paul sees that. So Paul follows him into the woods. Paul's about to unzip the tent that James is living in, and James stabs him in the face with a needle. And Paul is about to shoot and kill this homeless drug addict until James is like, I know where those kids are. And Paul's like, all right, you're staying alive for now. So Paul takes James there, and James thinks he's going to get the reward. But Paul walks in and he's like, man, you're not going to take my award, are you? Because he's concerned about the money. That's all he cares about. So Paul goes in the house. Eventually he comes out. Something happens. He drags James out of the car and brings him inside. And that's how chapter James ends. And then we're on to chapter Marcus. Chapter Marcus starts with us meeting Alex's Aunt Gladys. And if you know who she is by now, you know this woman is a real creep. So we see them having a meeting at the house. Gladys just slices her hand open. She cuts Marcus's boyfriend's hair. And then just rings a bell. And then Marcus goes insane. So the hair thing and her like voodoo witch dollery causes people to lose their mind and snap, like what we saw from Marcus going after Justine earlier. Kills his boyfriend, vomiting blood, headbutts him at least 15 times. It might have been more, to be completely honest with you. So Gladys wraps Justine's hair in the ribbon and snaps it, and that's when we see the scene of Marcus going after Justine. Like I said, so many stories are overlapping. It all comes together. Marcus chases after Justine, but then gets run over like head on by a car, and that's the end of him. And now we are on to chapter Alex. We kind of go back in time because we see his parents. They're actually loving parents. They're moving around. They're normal. And they're like, oh, Aunt Gladys is staying with us. And he's a little creeped out, but little Alex goes to look at Aunt Gladys in a room. He sees the wig on the nightstand, and he looks around and he just sees Aunt Gladys just staring back at him. It was really creepy, and it causes him to close the door real quick. So then we go to class, and like I said, this is back in time. Matthew makes a joke about Alex, and Justine kicks him out of the class. So it's all coming together there. One day, Alex comes home from school, and his parents are just there. They're just sitting there at the table, not saying anything, just sitting there. And now Aunt Gladys is running the show, unfortunately. Gladys tells Alex not to tell a soul that she is there, or how his parents are acting, or something's gonna happen. Gladys shows that she is not kidding. She snaps the ribbon, and the parents start to stab themselves in the face repeatedly. It was really, really brutal. Alex wakes up right before 2:17. Him and Gladys are outside watching the run those kids do down the street, and it's like a ritual kind of thing. And they come in the house, and it's like, oh, okay. The scene from earlier when we see Paul leaving the house, but this time he turns around to go back in. Justine and Archer are watching this time, and they're like, what is going on? Gladys tells Alex inside the house, do not cross the line of salt, because then you will be in danger. Get in the house. Justine barely crosses it, and like a zombie, Paul and James are attacking Justine and Archer, and they're going to town on them. In probably one of the funniest scenes of the movie, we see James, the drug addict, attempting to fight Archer, and Archer just keeps winning. Like, Archer will kick him in the face, James will come back. Archer will knock him out, James will come back. Archer killed him probably like 5 times, but James just keeps coming back for more. And eventually, James is like, no. So in the final scene of the movie, one of the final scenes, Paul tries to kill Justine, and Justine shoots him and James in the head. Archer goes downstairs to find Matthew, but gets attacked by Gladys, and you're like, oh no. Matthew uses the ribbon and turns the kids against Gladys, and they chase her through the town, going through houses, going through windows. Eventually they get her and rip her to shreds. Archer finds and brings Matthew home, as do the other kids. They get to go home, but it's going to be a long way back for those kids. They're going to have to pretty much start over and learn everything else because they got messed up. End of movie. 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. It might be the best movie of the year, honestly. Solid movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely go see it. It's well worth it. I think it might be on streaming now. I'm not sure. But regardless, go see it one way or another. Cast is awesome. The dude who played James, really funny. Then you got Josh Brolin, Julia Garner, the Ehrenreich guy, and Wong from the MCU. And yeah, it was a fun time, and I enjoyed it. And that is my review of Weapons. What did you guys think? Comment below. Did you enjoy it? Did you not like it? Saw a majority liked it, but there was a few that were like, oh, it was overrated. You know, I didn't think it was worth the hype. I thought it was a fun movie, truthfully. I would see it again for sure. Good story, good overlapping story, and yeah. But until next time, make sure you subscribe. And make sure you hit that like button. Plenty more content coming, folks. We are back. And yeah, until next time, I am Bobby from Bobby's Breakdowns, and we will see you in the next one. Later.